Hi everyone. Um, I said I was going live at 9:30. Um, Tonight's subject ain't going to be easy. Yeah. Um, I want to advise anybody who've got children around, don't let them listen. Please don't let them listen. I'm going to go into depth detail about me and Bobby's case. I've asked Bobby not even to be here because when we talk about our abuse, it hurts me and Bobby. Um, it's not a very easy thing. It's horrible. So I asked Bobby not to be here with me tonight because I want to go into deep detail about me and Bobby's abuse case. I didn't want to, but I made a decision. So did Bobby. That if this is what we do to make people realise about child abuse, then this is what we're going to do. People might find it wrong. We don't, because we were the ones that was raped and abused. Um, it wasn't just because of that. We had our demonstration on Saturday up in the town on the 27th, and I had a lot of people round me. Tracy Blackwell, James, Big John, a lot of people that support us. Um, that day, it opened my eyes, opened Bobby's eyes, opened Tracy's eyes, James' eyes, John's eyes. Sorry, oh, sorry, that's the dog. It opened our eyes. The how cruel talking about all this can be. So I decided, Bobby decided, and this is one thing that all our supporters, everybody that knows me and Bobby, begged us not to do. I'm going against that. That's why Bobby's not here. I'm here on my own. Um, it was hurtful what we went through on Saturday. It's hurtful, all the blogs that me and Bobby do, trying to bring out about protecting your children and making sure they don't get harmed. Me and Bobby, as everybody knows, we waived our anonymity to be able to talk about our abuse, and we can. We've never really, we've give everybody snippets of what we went through, what we suffered. Tonight, I've decided, because I can, and this is me and Bobby's permission, nobody else's, we don't need permission from nobody. To tell the public what it's like to go through rape as a child. People will have to bear with me on this. I will get upset. I'll cry. But it's what we've got to do. Yeah. Our case. I can sit here and tell you about other kids' cases that were in the same home as me, right? But I'm not. We're talking about our individual case. Me and Bobby were being raped in St. Patrick's Secondary Home, right? That was our first rape. We were running away, escaping our abuse, right? We always run to my granny's at the time because we loved our granny. We loved our granny to bits. We still do. God bless her. But we always run home to her, but we were always caught and brought back to face more abuse. We were young kids and didn't have a clue, but we always run back, to your family. And that we always done that. But we were always brought back, arrested within hours and brought back. This was in St. Pat's. We were in St. Patrick's Boys Correctional Centre for 3 years. Because we always run away from our abuse. Under Kirkgubban, De La Salle's boys' home, they decided to put me and Bobby out in the country, in the middle of nowhere, which is Kirkgubban boys' home. Me and Bobby went there. We were put in the back of a yellow transit van and brought out into the middle of nowhere, right out in the middle of the country. Nobody touched me and Bobby for the first 3 days we were in that home. And then our hell on earth began. The third night, 4 or 5 boys walked into our dorm because all the kids were in the dorm. And me and Bobby were took out of our beds and brought into a room. Bobby was tucked to one bed, I was tucked to the next. And we got our clothes ripped off us, and our rape begun. We were raped in front of each other. I heard my brother's screams, and he heard mine. It went on for about an hour. We had priests come in that room, Christian brothers come in that room, and rape me and Bobby, in front of each other, time and time again. Then we were dressed, took her to that room, and sent back to your dorm. I remember laying in my bed, and I couldn't even comprehend in my own head what just happened. What was that? What just happened to me? Me and Bobby both knew that we were buggered. That was the first time. We lay in our beds and watched other children getting took out of that dorm that went through exactly what we went through. I remember being in that home like all the other kids, and when the door on that dorm opened, you put your head underneath your blankets, praying that you weren't going to get picked. It wasn't going to be you tonight. It'd be somebody else. And as much as that sounds shit, you were saying, please don't let it be me. And we're the victims of this. But you still turn around and says, please don't let it be me, let it be somebody else. Because of what you suffered. Whenever me and Bobby were getting took out, they couldn't understand why we were getting took out the most. We never understood that until we were older. Because we were kids, we didn't understand about sexuality or nothing. We didn't know that we were a fantasy, that we were their fantasy, because they had identical twins, and we didn't know that. We were innocent to all this, like all the other innocent kids were. Me and Bobby were raped night after night and day after day at the hands of the Christian Brothers, because that's what they did. And we're the ones that have to live with our memories, right? Every single day of our lives. We know now why it was me and Bobby. We know why we get picked on as much as we did. It's hard for me to talk about this. When you look at me and Bobby's headline, what says, it's not behind me tonight. Would you go on the HIA website or Google me and Bobby? You'll see the big headline behind me and Bobby. Yeah, twins raped and forced to perform sex acts on each other. It's not on the newspaper. I swore I'd never say it. What the public don't know, yeah, because it doesn't say it on the Sun. In our statements it does. Our statements are government protected. Our statements were made in 2010. Sorry to everybody for drinking. Yeah. What it doesn't say on the front of the Sun no, but what it didn't state on the Sun, that Bobby had a knife to his throat and I had a knife to my throat. If you don't suck your brother's penis, I'm going to cut your throat. And if he doesn't do the same to him, we're going to cut his throat. Me and Bobby, in our inquiry, told the government-run inquiry that we were raped between 15 to 20 times. When we were going on about our rape case, when they asked us, what did you mean you were raped between 15 and 20 times? The people that we were saying raped us, brother blah blah, could have raped us 2, 3, 4, 5. Brother blah blah could have raped us 7 or 8 times. Brother blah blah could have raped us 4 or 5 times. That's why me and Bobby's rape case was one of the worst that ever came out of Ireland, because we don't know how many people and how many times they constantly rape. And it was the worst the place ever had to deal with in Northern Ireland. When I stand, and Bobby does, telling about our rape and our abuse, we don't go into detail. We don't say it as it is. Not because we can't. It's because it's so hurtful, we can't. If we'd done that, we wouldn't be here telling you all, because we wouldn't exist. I know that if I didn't have my daughter and my sons around me, I'd have given up a long time ago. I wouldn't be here to tell the story. Neither would Bobby. I curled up in a ball about 10, 15 years ago. I found that dirty, that betrayed. We both did. I had 16 ODs. I've got all the scars all over my arms. It's all there. Revived 4 times when all I wanted to do was die, because I didn't want to have the memories that I've got. I didn't want to have the pain that we've got. I look at Bobby, we look at each other, and we feel that pain. I dare anybody that ever knows me and Bobby, look at me and Bobby. If you're around us, look at us. We can't even look each other in the eye because of the abuse that we suffered. I can look anybody in the eye and talk about the abuse, talk about the pain. I'm there. But I can't look Bobby in the eye and he can't look me because we were raped in front of each other. It's so disgusting and degrading. This is what the public don't know. We turn round and we want to be there for everybody's children. We're not paranoid schizophrenics that's turning around and going, child in this country is going to get raped and abused like we were. We're not saying that. Your child's in the bedroom now. Go and check them. Make sure they're not being groomed. Make sure that no pedos doing that to them. That's what we're asking. Yous have got this technology now. We never did. We never had all this around us. If we had have, maybe we would have got saved because we had current people around us. But we never had that. So we were left to open abuse, something that we could not run away from. We could never escape our abuse. You've got the technology there. Make sure that your children aren't being groomed online. Make sure that none of that's happening. What, 2 minutes to check it? You've got 2 minutes to check it, or you've got a lifetime of suffering because you couldn't do that. To be groomed is so easy. When we went into homes, we came from broken families. We never had a mother and father's love because that was broke down in our lives. You'd have a brother turn round to you. Do you want some sweets? Yeah. You do that as a child, innocently. Do you want a cigarette? Yeah, innocently. You're being groomed. You're seeing what your vulnerability is. Families out there that are struggling to feed the family, never mind clothes the kids. You can't get them the trainers. You can't get them designer this. You can't get them designer that. There's people out there that can, and they're the groomers. These are the ones who will turn round and buy your child what they need. The best trainers, designer gear, everything. Then they'll rope them in on drugs and then they'll sell them out to everybody. Because that's what happens. That's what grooming's about. That breaks my heart. We never had the technology that we've got now, that all your children have now. We never had that back in our days. We never had none of that. We were the ones who was out playing Kirby, hide and seek, and all that was only the games. We never had the technology that you have now. And there was thousands of us raped and abused back then. There's tens of thousands of children being raped right now as I speak. I'm asking the general public. I'm sitting here as a man, and my twin brother is as a man. We were raped and abused horribly. And me and him are so lucky, although we asked in our inquiry that we wished that we had been raped on our own because of the nightmares that me and him have got and the images that me and Bobby have got. We always said we wished we had been raped on our own, which is a horrible thing to say. I get that. If it was your child going through this on its own, on her own, or his own, what are you going to do as a parent? How are you going to feel as a parent? How are you going to cope as a parent? Yeah, I'm only talking about a parent's view. Forget your view. How's your son or daughter going to cope? They went through it. You didn't. Stand up now and start listening to what we're telling the public. Stand up now and listen to the truth. We're telling the truth. The media aren't telling you our story. Nobody is. The government aren't. Listen to me and Bobby and other victims. Yeah. And let us tell you the truth, not them. They butter it up. They will never give you a count-to-count detail on what's going on. That's not what the media is about. That's not what the government is about. 160 registered sex offenders serve the public, MPs. Did you know that? I'm telling you that now. Research it. I'm Endis. Good night, everybody. Good night.